Welcome back to learning program Cisco Networking with Rajput. Today we are going to have a look at BGP Prefix Advertisement. We have three ways we can inject routes or prefixes in BGP, and the first one is by network statement. The another method is by redistributing, and the third method is by aggregate command. We can aggregate some smaller subnets into one bigger subnet so that we just send one specific subnet instead of sending small specific routes. Before we move on to live devices and configure devices and see the device behavior, let us first have a look at important notes. The most important thing about the network statement is that whatever the network statement you want to put in BGP and whatever the prefix you want to advertise, you must check whether that specific subnet which we want to advertise is there in routing table or not. If there is no entry in routing table for that particular prefix and that particular subnet, then BGP will not advertise that prefix to other neighbor, or that will not be there in BGP table. Next important note is when we aggregate smaller subnets into big subnet, at least one prefix from aggregated subnets must be there in BGP table. Please note, in case of aggregation, BGP moves one step ahead and checks its BGP table along with routing table. If no smaller subnet of aggregated subnet is there in BGP table, it will not advertise aggregated subnet. Last but not least, in the case of redistribution, always make sure auto summary is off. If this is on, BGP will summarize the prefix to its classful subnet, which may not be the desired outcome and can cause routing inconsistencies in routing domain. So let us see the design we have. We have three devices, router 1, router 2 and router 3. We are running OSPF as IGP between router 1 and router 2. Subnet configured between router 1 and 2 is 12.1.1.0/24, and these are the loopback interfaces with /32 subnet configured on R1, router 1. And between router 2 and router 3, we have configured eBGP. Router 2 belongs to AS200, router 3 belongs to AS300. Let us check live devices. Okay, this is R1 and I have pre-configured OSPF between R1 and R2. So run section router OSPF. So this is the OSPF configuration I have added. On router 2 as well. Okay, let us configure BGP between router 2 and router 3. Router BGP 200, neighbor 23.113, remote AS 300, and on router 3, CompT router BGP 300, neighbor is 23.112, remote AS 200. From router 3 we are not going to advertise any prefix. So let us check router 2 now. Okay, let us first check network statement. We want to advertise some prefix via network statement. So before I enter some network statement, I must make sure that specific route must be there in the routing table, like do show IP int brief. Suppose I want to advertise this prefix in BGP. So first thing I should know is it's a subnet mask. Okay, it's a /24 subnet. So just in case I want to advertise this subnet as /30. Let us see. First thing, if I want to advertise /30 subnet, I must check whether entry for /30 subnet in routing table is there or not. To show IP route 12.110 and mask will be, there is no entry. If now I enter network statement for this particular subnet in BGP, let me clear Okay, instead of clearing, I just want to advertise the another subnet in BGP so that we can see if the other subnet is advertised or not. To show run interface fast Ethernet 0 by 1. It's again /24 subnet, so we will advertise this subnet in BGP. Okay, there is one entry, one prefix is there in the routing table, in BGP table, I should say. So IP BGP, and this is 23.1.1.0/24 subnet, but not the 12 subnet. This subnet which we entered as /30, there is no routing entry for /30 subnet of 12.1.1.0 in routing table. Let us check it once again to show IP root, and the mask for the subnet is mask for the prefix is /30. There is no entry, that is why this is not advertised in BGP. Now let us go and change it to /24. No. And now it should be advertised to BGP. We have two entries now. We have two entries. Now this prefix is available on router 3. Okay, and let us check the another condition where we redistribute prefixes in BGP. So let us first remove what we advertised from router 2. Okay, redistribute OSPF 100. Okay, so all the entries are there in BGP now. It still shows old entry. Okay, now we have all the redistributed prefixes in BGP. Okay, let us try to make something magical. We will enable auto summary. Let us check if that is disabled or not. So run section router BGP. See, auto summary is disabled in BGP. Let us enable it. See, currently we have all the prefixes /32 prefixes in BGP. Now once we enable auto summary, we will see the magic. Okay, now we see only two entries are there, one for one subnet and another for 12 subnet. Let us check on router 3. Again, we have only two entries. Let us check routing table. It's a /8 subnet. So what BGP did, it just auto summarized the complete one subnet. All the specific subnets are auto summarized to class full subnet, and one belongs to class A. Just summarized to /8 subnet, which can be really a painful situation when we are working in enterprise environment or in ISP environment, where another smaller blocks of one subnet are used on different sites. We may face a situation where we do not see the desired routing in complete backbone because of this auto summarization. It's quite possible that either it aggregates the complete traffic to this particular site, I mean the site which is originating this summary route, or some abnormal behavior will be there. So always make sure auto summary is off whenever you are redistributing routes in BGP. Okay, let us remove auto summary and redistribution statements from BGP. No auto summary, no redistribution, OSPF 100. Let us go for third option where we will aggregate smaller prefixes into one bigger subnet. So these all OSPF prefixes I just want to aggregate to some one big subnet. Okay, aggregate 1.1.0 and mask will be 248, and we don't want to use any route map, summary map, press map. That's it. Okay, so in ideal situation it will go and check in BGP table if there is any entry for this subnet or not. If there is no entry in BGP table, then it will not advertise this aggregate address. So let us first check do show IP BGP. There is nothing in BGP table. So this is not advertised to another peer. Let us go and check. There is nothing in BGP table on the other end. No prefix is received. So let us do one thing. Introduce one prefix, mask 255, 255 and 255. So now we have entries and two prefixes we are getting, and show IPBGP. Okay, we are getting two prefixes. One is /32, which we manually entered as network statement, and another one is aggregate address, which we entered. Show IPBGP aggregated by 200, and this is the aggregator. Okay, let us go and make some changes in configuration so that only aggregated prefix goes to other end, not the specific one. Summary only. So what will happen? The keyword summary only will do. It will stop advertising the stop. It will stop advertising more specific prefixes, and it will advertise only the aggregated address to other peer. Let us go and check on other router. See, now we have only one entry, and that is /29 subnet. Specific entry which we had in our BGP table on router 3 1.1.1/32 is no more now. So there are three things which must be kept in mind while working in BGP advertisement. We have three mechanisms. We can inject prefixes into BGP. One is via network statement, another one is by redistributing, and the third one or the last one is aggregate command. So whenever we are doing or injecting prefixes in BGP, we must make sure that In the case of network statement, an entry must be there in routing table for that specific subnet. If that's not there, BGP will not advertise that prefix into BGP. That will not inject into BGP. The another one is whenever we are aggregating smaller subnets into one bigger, then at least one entry of that aggregate subnet must be there in BGP table. If that's not there, BGP will not advertise the aggregated subnet. And the last one, in the case of redistribution, always make sure auto summary is not on in BGP. If that's the case, you might face some abnormal routing behavior. So that's all about the BGP advertisement. If you find my videos informative, please don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Thank you for watching. Hope to see you again.